$750 a week, Prime Minister, this is now the same level as the original JobKeeper, so why not reintroduce JobKeeper?
Because it's not the right solution for the problems we have now. What we're doing now is faster, it's more effective, it's more targeted, it's getting help where it's needed far more quickly. We're not dealing with a pandemic outbreak across the whole country. When we did JobKeeper, we had to employ it across the whole country, all at once, and we did it for 6 months. What we need now is the focused effort on where the need is right now. And so it can be turned on and off to the extent that we have outbreaks that occur. JobKeeper did not have that flexibility. It did not have that agility. Those payments that I mentioned, $411 million in New South Wales alone, businesses under that scheme would have had to have gone to their bank, borrowed that $411 million to make it available to their employees. In this case, we just acted and got the payments to them, in some cases, in half an hour of application. Now, that never happened. JobKeeper was a great scheme, but you don't play last year's grand final this year. You deal with this year's challenges. You deal with this moment's problems. And what we've designed together with the business cash flow support, when you put that together, that is providing the assistance we need now. Now, I would note, and this is very interesting, because what we're not seeing, and I don't expect we will see, because of the way the COVID disaster payment is moving so swiftly, we have not seen an uptick in people going on to JobSeeker, because they understand they're getting that support from the government, they're staying with their employers. That means in a month, hopefully, when business returns, they'll go back into work with those employers, they'll get on with their jobs, and our economy will roar back to life. So this is the right answer for this problem.
Can I just clarify? So the increased payments, will that now be the existing model going forward for any further lockdowns? And secondly, do you have a sense of how much this is now going to cost with the changes?
Well, to give you an idea, we believe now, with all of these measures in place in New South Wales, that the Commonwealth support from the federal government to people in New South Wales will be running at around about $750 million a week. Now, that was basically what we were doing last year in Victoria, when Victoria was in the same lockdown. So it's a commensurate level of support. $750 million a week, and I want to acknowledge that's just the Commonwealth government. The state government is also putting in significant supports beyond that as well. So there is a great deal of economic support going in at the moment, and what that is doing is keeping the New South Wales economy as whole as possible, because your policy challenge here, your economic challenge in what frankly is our biggest economy in the country. If New South Wales had befallen this last year, together with what happened last year, then I do not believe we would have seen the economic recovery that we saw last year. So New South Wales did tremendously well last year, but now they've confronted this year. And so it's important that we keep the New South Wales economy, just like others, but particularly New South Wales because of its size. We need to keep that in a fit shape so it will recover strongly on the other side. And that's what we've seen from our measures. Australia has had, the IMF has acknowledged it today, one of, if not the most effective economic interventions during this pandemic of almost anywhere in the world. And we're applying those same lessons to the challenge now in New South Wales. But we're just not cutting and pasting before and thinking that will solve the problem. We're actually designing and upgrading our plans to ensure they meet the needs right in front of us.